Kirsty Way Yoga, and today's practice is all about sparking your inner light or your inner sense of joy. So maybe you've come to this practice feeling a little bit dark or heavy, and this practice will really help you to move some of that dark energy or that stagnant energy that feels sometimes like it gets a little bit stuck within us. Get the heart rate up a little bit, get moving, build some fire, and hopefully just allow you to reaccess or to acknowledge that even though you might be feeling like this, there is still always that inner light inside of us and that inner spark. And hopefully this practice will help you to remember that. So we're going to start on our backs today. So come and take a lie down. And as always, if you have a block, then please have it near. We won't necessarily need it, but it's always good to have just to give us some support for our practice. So taking a lie down, and it's up to you how you start here. Maybe you want the soles of the feet together and the knees flopping open, just to start to invite some openness of the hips, or maybe you just want to extend the legs. Or if you want or feel like you need that sense of inner connection today, maybe you've been feeling disconnected from the body, then maybe you want to place one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart space. And allowing the eyes to close here as the body just sinks down in towards the ground. And we begin to allow the breath to move in and out of the belly, of the ribs, of the chest. And we notice the quality of the breath today without judging. And the quality of our breath can tell us a lot about the quality of our minds, the quality of our lives, how much chaos is in our lives. So just using our breath as the anchor to help to ground us into this moment, to release all that has come before and let go of all that needs to happen after this practice. You've given yourself this time, so invite yourself into presence here. And just asking yourself what it is that has brought you to your mat today. Maybe you've not been feeling your best self, and there's so much that is going on in the world right now that's really easy to understand. There's a lot of darkness, of heaviness. And sometimes that leads us to stop taking care of ourselves and to just sort of get overwhelmed with the chaos of the world and how it seeps into our minds and our hearts. So it's really important that we give ourselves this time, that we fill our own cups and that we take care of ourselves first in order to take care of the people around us and the rest of the world. So just take a moment to be proud of yourself for being here, and I'm so proud of you too. And on our next inhale, breathe in a colour of joy or of lightness, of happiness. And imagine this colour filling the whole of the body. And as we exhale slowly through the mouth, think of a colour that may represent fear or darkness. And just imagine this leaving the body, leaving the heart and the belly and the mind, wherever it feels stuck. And repeating this 3 more times, breathing in your colour of joy. And breathing out your colour of fear. And 2 more times we'll repeat. And just knowing that however it is that you are showing up on your mat, whatever emotions that you're coming with are valid and are welcome. And last breath in. And breathing out. Let that darkness go, just even by 1%. And then on the next breath in, can we visualize something that brings us joy, that we are grateful for? Maybe that's a person or a place. Maybe a pet. And on our exhale, can we release something that feels heavy for us, that is not serving us? And we'll do that one more time, breathing in something, either the same thing or something else that brings you joy. And breathing out anything that's no longer serving you. And coming back to your normal, natural breath, and just invite a smile to the face. Just a really soft smile. And sometimes this can be enough to lift us up even slightly. Beautiful. And then if the knees are apart, then just gently bring the hands on the outsides of the thighs and pointing the knees up to the ceiling, and give yourself a big hug here. Bringing the forehead towards the knees, so we're in a tiny little ball, hugging ourselves nice and close. Maybe even a rock from side to side. And releasing the head down, extending legs and arms to the ceiling, and just giving the ankles and the wrists a nice roll around. Opposite direction. And finding some freedom in the limbs, the elbows, the knees, the ankles, however it feels good to move here. Nice work. Bringing the hands behind the hamstrings and just giving ourselves a rock up and down, however many that you'd like here. You might want to give yourself a few more, especially if it feels really good for the spine. And then cross the legs and coming into our tabletop position, knees under the hips and wrists under the ankles. And we're really going to find some freedom with our movement here. So moving the spine between the flexion and extension, but then allowing ourselves to come side to side, and maybe even sinking the hips back so we're almost in a child's pose. And then bringing the hips forward so we're almost in a little bit of a cobra. So we want to find this almost dance for the spine. Any shapes or forms that might feel necessary for you today. And you can move the hands slightly forward or slightly back if that helps you to move in a way that feels more freeing. And it might look more like waves, or it might be that you're holding a certain place. There is no right or wrong way to move here. Good, and then coming back to center in that place that makes sense for you, bringing the wrists back underneath the shoulders, tucking the toes, lifting the hips nice and high towards the sky, downward facing dog. Pedaling the feet, so we bend in the knees one at a time. And then again, finding some free movement in our dog, so maybe we sink the knees down and the hips towards the heels. And maybe we take a wave of our dog. Just trying to sync with our breath wherever we are. And then when you're ready, coming back to center, pressing the heart back towards the thighs, energizing the heels down towards the earth, and just letting the crown of the head hang heavy towards the floor. Maybe giving the head a yes or a no. Walking the feet in towards the hands. Fingertips to shins as we come to a halfway lift. Pull the heart forward and the hips back as if we've got an elastic band that's being pulled in either direction. The crown of the head lengthens forward. And bowing down into our forward fold, Uttanasana, bending the knees and letting the crown drip down. And anything that is stuck in the head, in the mind, just let it go here. Let it drip out of the head, down into the ground. And feeling into all four corners of the feet, we're going to start to rise up nice and slowly through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. On our inhale, taking a big reach up towards the sky with the fingertips. And an exhale, hands come towards the heart. Big breath in as we reach, nice and tall, extend through the crown of the head. And big breath out as we hinge from the hips, take a forward fold. Fingertips to shins, inhale, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana fold. Good, scoop it all up. Bring that energy up with you from the earth. As we inhale, pull it all the way up. Gather all the energy from the sky. And then bring it all down in towards the heart space. Bring in the hands to our mountain posture, so facing forward, feet hips width apart. And just find a little bit of a sway from side to side here, maybe forward and back. So we're finding our center of balance. And it may be that we've felt a little bit out of balance recently, or we've not felt very grounded. So bringing ourselves home and finding our center, finding our feet, and bringing ourselves out of our head. Beautiful big breath in as we reach, extend and lengthen. And breath out, hinge from those hips, Uttanasana fold. Breath in, halfway lift. And breath out, step back with the right leg. Drop the back knee. Keep the toes tucked as we take an inhale to reach up through the fingertips, sink into this left hip, maybe come into a little mini back bend. And exhale to frame the front foot. Step back to plank, drop the knees, and bring the chin and the chest towards the ground. As we take an inhale, either Sphinx on the forearms or baby cobra as we peel the chest up, shoulder blades together at the back. And exhale to tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. The right leg sweeps up on the inhale, square the hips, spin the toes down towards the floor. And exhale, right knee in towards the chest. Step that right foot in. Left knee lowers as we take an inhale to reach up. And an exhale to frame the front foot. Inhale, the left foot meets the right. We're in a halfway lift. And an exhale to our Uttanasana fold. Again, scoop all that energy up. Taking a breath in as we gather it from the sky and a breath out as it comes down towards the heart. Breath in to reach. And breath out, Uttanasana. Breath in, halfway lift. And breath out, step out with the left leg. Drop the back knee. Breath in to reach, to sink in. Maybe a back bend here. And breath out to frame the front foot. Step back to plank. knees, chest, chin, hover. Breath into your back bend, either baby cobra, higher cobra, or downward facing dog as we press the tops of the feet to the earth and lift the thighs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Did I just say downward facing dog? I think I meant upward facing dog. This time the left leg's going to sweep up. Keep that little toe facing towards the floor as we exhale, knee to nose. Drop the back knee. Take a breath into our Anjayanasana and a breath out to frame the front foot. Breath in to step the right up to meet the left, halfway lift. And a breath out to forward fold. Vertebrae by vertebrae, take an inhale as we lengthen and we reach. And we exhale, we bring it back down towards the heart. Finding our way back into our mountain posture. Taking a close of the eyes, a spread of the toes, a find of the feet, a lift of the inner arches, and a small smile to the face. And just noticing how the energy is starting to move in the body, how things may be feeling a little bit looser or starting to become unstuck. And then making sure our feet are hips width apart, taking an inhale to reach up. And an exhale to sink into the heels, send the fingertips back. We're going to bring some power in here. Take a breath in to reach. And a breath out, breathe out through the mouth as we sink into the heels, throw the hands back. Breath in and out. In and out. In, out. Last one. Good. Finding our way into our chair pose. Maybe the fingertips stay by the sides of the hips, maybe to the heart, or even reaching all the way up so the biceps hug the ears, sinking into the heels here. Last breath, pull the belly towards the spine, and breath out, forward fold. Breath in to halfway lift. Optional vinyasas, we plant the hands, either step or hop back to your chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend of choice. And exhale to your downward facing dog. Right leg lifts on the inhale. Exhale to step the right foot in between the hands. Spin the back foot to 45 degrees. And come and find our warrior one here. So the back toes are facing towards about 10-2. And if this is really uncomfortable, you can always come into high lunge where we pick up the back heel. Sinking into the front knee as we rise towards the sky with the crown of the head with the fingertips. Into our Virabhadrasana one, seeing if we can keep that smile on the face. This attitude of being grateful for our bodies, for how they carry us, for how they carry our breath. And final breath in. And breath out, warrior two. So all that means is we spin the back foot flat and we bend into the front knee, reaching out through the arms, palms down. And we want the energy moving in all the different directions here, grounding through the feet, rising through the spine, through the crown of the head. And then coming forward through the front fingertips, and backwards through the back ones. And then rolling the thighs out. As we breathe in, coming into side angle, right elbow to the right thigh, reaching over with the left. And as we breathe out, back into our warrior two. Breathe in, reverse warrior or peaceful warrior. As we lift the right hand up towards the sky, let the left hand just drip down the back of the leg. Breath in to warrior two. Breath out, clasp the hands behind the back, and we might need to turn the toes ever so slightly in. As we come into our humble warrior, breathing in, opening up through the chest, through the shoulders, and breathing out. The right shoulder comes on the inside of the right leg, letting the crown drip down towards the ground.
into our humble warrior, pressing the knuckles towards the sky. So this is an example of an inversion where the head is below the heart. And this is supposed to be, or this is one of the yogic techniques of really sparking joy into our lives. Because when the blood rushes to the head, it invigorates us and it makes us feel more alive. It brings our energy back. So just settle into this space for one more breath. And then releasing the clasp of the hands. Going into a low lunge here, but keeping that back knee picked up. Left hand on the inside of the right foot. Easy twist as we extend the right hand towards the sky. Try and get a stack of the shoulders here. Don't forget about that back foot, the back thigh as we firm the quadricep. Pick the knee up. And then your next breath out. Frame the front foot, step back to your plank. Option to drop the knees or take a full vinyasa. Taking an inhale, lift and present the heart. And an exhale to our downward facing dog. Settling in here for just a couple of breaths. Maybe you want to take a child's pose. Remembering to fill your cup to take care of yourself in the way that only you know how. No one else knows what's best for you. Not your yoga teacher, not your boss, not your partner, not your children, just you. You always know what it is that you need. And being on our mats is the perfect opportunity to ask ourselves those questions and to maybe even be selfish for once in our lives. And I say selfish in inverted commas because we all know that it's not selfish to take care of ourselves, even though it may feel like it sometimes. Okay, are we ready for side number 2? Let's take an inhale, the left leg sweeps towards the ceiling. And an exhale, stepping the left foot in between the hands. Spinning the back foot to 45 degrees, ready for our warrior one, sinking into the front knee. Pressing down through the back little toe. As we find this energy of grounding through the feet and this uplift of energy through the spine, through the crown of the head. Noticing how important our posture is here. Notice the spaces that the breath travels to, the open spaces in the body. As we pull the left hip back, the right hip forward to create that squaring in the hips. Last breath here. And on our next exhale to warrior 2. Find that strong gaze over the front fingertips. The spread across the collarbones, the opening of the heart. The stability and the strength in the body here, even though there may be a few wobbles or shakes, that doesn't mean that we're not strong and stable. You're allowed to wobble, you're allowed to shake. Next inhale, left elbow to the left thigh, reaching all the way over with the right. Exhale to warrior 2. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Exhale to warrior 2. Inhale to open up, clasp the hands into our humble warrior, or the little finger on top this time. And exhale, bring the left shoulder on the inside of the left leg. Let the head melt down, finding your humble warrior. And releasing the clasp of the hands, coming into that easy twist. Right hand on the inside of the left leg. Left hand up towards the sky. Keep the inner thighs squeezing together. The navel pulling in towards the spine. And then exhale, plant the hands, step back to our plank. And take your optional vinyasa, whatever is working for you today. We're meeting in our downward facing dog. And then either step in, or we can have a little bit of fun here by giving ourselves or practicing some bunny hops. So taking the big toes together, stepping in ever so slightly closer, bending the knees, gazing towards the front of the mat, and then kicking the heels towards the glutes. And let's just do a few of these. Not attaching to any sort of outcome. It doesn't matter how long we spend up in the air or how long we don't, how much of a bang that we make on the floor, although it might for the neighbours. And when we're ready, coming back to our forward fold and just letting ourselves melt down here, catching our breath. And starting to rise through the spine for 3, 2, 1. Inhale to reach. Exhale, bring the hands towards the heart. And ground through this left foot, spread through the toes. As we bring ourselves into our Vrksasana, our tree pose. Good. Taking an inhale here, and we're going to reach, let me remember which arm it is, the left arm over the ear. And then bring the thumb and the first finger together. Good, so this is our tree pose or our adapted tree pose. And then coming to our fig tree pose, we're going to step this right foot diagonal to the left, plant the left foot and reach over with the right. Now let's move between these two shapes here. So taking an inhale to your tree and an exhale to your fig tree. Let's go one more time. Inhale to tree. And an exhale to fig tree. And an inhale to tree. And finding your Vrksasana here, your stable tree pose. Maybe we reach the arms up as we really open through the hip points here. Spin that right inner thigh out. And then maybe the tree hits some wind. Maybe it does a little Mexican dance, Mexican wave with the arms. Really took me a while to find that. Maybe it stays still, maybe it's a little bit of a dancing tree. What does it need here? How can we challenge our balance? How can we just try something a little bit different without thinking about how we look? Just notice how it feels. Maybe the tree wants to give itself a hug. And we just stay here for another couple of breaths. So you'll notice when you have that stability in the lower body, it really allows a lot of freedom in the upper body. So we need to work on those roots before we work on anything else, really. It's all about the roots. It's all about the foundations. And then hands come together towards the heart. Step that right foot down and then just give yourself a shake here. So that legs can shake. Have a little shake of the spine, of the shoulders. And then we're going to come on to our opposite side. So right foot is grounded this time. Spread the toes, find the inner arches. Left sole of the foot to the inner thigh or shin, wherever you are. Take the right arm over the ear and the thumb and the first finger of the left hand. And then take an exhale to our fig tree. Stepping that left foot back. The left arm reaches over. Inhale to tree. And exhale to fig tree. Breath in to tree. And a breath out to our fig tree. Breath in to tree. And then once again, find that joyful tree, that funky tree, wherever we may be. Maybe we give ourselves some movement in all the different planes, some rotation. Maybe it feels, maybe it feels nice and fluid, or maybe it feels a little bit sharp and spiky. Again, however it is that you want to show up today is perfect. Just let yourself be in this body, be where you are for 3, for 2, and 1. Bring the hands back down towards the heart. Step the feet side by side, and once again, just give yourself a shake here. And coming to stand back at the front of the mat. Taking a breath in to reach up and coming into our chair pose and sinking lower and lower and lower and lower. And then finding our way onto our sit bones, into our half boat. And coming into a wavy boat here, so just finding some freedom in the arms and in the legs as we come into our low boat. And if you've practiced with me before, you know I love incorporating this one. And then back to half boat. And then to low, keep those limbs moving. And then to half, to low, to half, to low, to half. We've got 2 more times, to low and to half. Last time, to low, give it a shake about. For 3, 2, and 1, let it relax. Good job. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Back where we started, give yourself that big squeeze, that big hug. Saying to yourself here that you deserve, or I deserve, to fill my cup, to feel this joy. And release down. Pull the left leg in towards the chest and just bring it over the body. So we're supine twisting towards the right. Gazing over that left shoulder, if that feels good for you. And the left arm extends out. Caring for our spines. Giving them the nourishment that they need and just allowing the heart rate to slowly come back down. And back to center. And the right knee comes in towards the chest this time. Supine twist towards the left. Big, full, nourishing breaths here. Because what is the point of our practice if we are not breathing? If we're not noticing? If we're just on autopilot or unconsciously going through the movements, going through the motions? Constantly asking ourselves the question, what is alive for me today? What is sparking joy for me today? Where are the glimmers amongst the darkness, the chaos? Where is the beauty? And something that I like to do is, I try and do it every day, but maybe not every day. Try and find at least 5 glimmers of something that's happened in the day that maybe you wouldn't usually notice. Coming back to center, happy baby, outsides of the feet or the legs. And that could be that your coffee was the perfect temperature or consistency, that you didn't have to wait in line for your coffee, that someone let you go when you were coming out of like a tricky road that you usually wait ages for. So they don't have to be these huge monumental things. It's just about finding the tiny, tiny glimmers or appreciations in life. And that is really what makes up a good life. It's not necessarily all of these big things that we think creates happiness. So find your glimmers today or tomorrow or the rest of the week, the rest of the month. Beautiful. Let go of the feet. Take a moment to move however it is that you want to move. I'm going to finish with the breathing that we practiced at the start. And if you want a longer Shavasana here, then please just feel free to turn off the video now and take your time with your Shavasana. And if not, finding your way into a comfortable lying position. And once again, choosing those two colours, one that brings joy and one that represents darkness. And taking some full body breaths here as we breathe this colour of joy in from the very tips of the toes to the very crown of the head. Letting it fill every single cell in the body. And either breathing through the nose or the mouth as we release this colour of darkness, of anything that still feels stuck within us. And practicing this breath just for a few rounds. And as we breathe, just checking in that we're not holding on to any tension physically between the eyebrows or the jaw, the shoulders, the belly. And bringing that small smile to our face. And taking one final breath in. And a slow release out. And then starting to gently hug the knees towards the chest, giving yourself that big squeeze once again. As we roll over to your favourite side, tucking the chin in, pressing the spine away. And always pausing before we finish our practice here for that moment of gratitude. Really bringing to mind something that you are just so grateful exists. And that could be a person that has really shown up for you recently. A person that feels like light and sunshine and that sees you in your darkest days and still loves you unconditionally. And knowing that this is the type of love that you deserve. Not just from others, but from yourself as well. And then coming up to our seated position whenever we're ready. Bringing the hands together towards the heart. Touching the thumbs in between the eyebrows to acknowledge the power of our mind and of our thoughts. The thumbs to the throat to acknowledge the power of our words and our voice and our truth. The thumbs to the heart space to acknowledge the incredible, incredible power of the love that is inside of us and the love that's all around us, even though sometimes we may forget that it is there. Let's take a big breath in through the nose and a big cleansing breath through the mouth. And usually I say namaste. Sometimes I'll say the light in me honors the light in you. And this time I heard someone say recently at the end of class, the darkness in me honors the darkness in you as well as the light. And I really love this. So however it is that you've shown up today is enough, and the light and the darkness in me acknowledges the light and the darkness in you. And thank you for showing up for yourself and for this video today. Namaste.